When you're in the public eye, audiences always feel like they can pass a judgment over you, whether it's positive or negative. Sadly, most of the times it's in a nasty way, with internet trolls lashing out. A new Sky News documentary, Haters Online, Erin Molan Fights Back, investigates the sinister and toxic side of social media and what can be done in the fight against online abuse to make our cyberspace safe. Sky News anchor and anti-cyberbullying advocate Erin Molan takes a detailed look into the disturbing and damaging world of cyber harassment, online trolls and e-safety. And Erin Molan joins me live now. Erin, good to see you. How you doing?
Great to see you, Kenny. Thank you so much for having me on.
You know, I've got two young girls and they're too young to want phones and social media accounts yet. But I'm not just saying this, but I'm terrified because that's going to come eventually.
Absolutely.
And once they have access to that stuff, I can't be sitting over their shoulder every single minute of the day. And it's not a solution to just say you can't go on the internet.
No, absolutely. And I wish I could tell you something that might comfort you, but you are completely right to be terrified. And whilst we've got laws in place, world first in this country, which were passed through Parliament last year, which is amazing, we have to keep evolving because the technology in this space continually changes and updates. You talk about kids now, I look at what we've got in existence right now. You've got TikTok, you've got kids on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the whole shebang. They reckon in less than 5 years, and think how common that is for kids, you know, from say 7, 8 till 18, they reckon in less than 5 years, virtual reality will become an everyday thing for kids where they'll be wearing these sensor suits with these helmets on and having interactions with kids and adults on the other side of the world. And there's already been rape cases in the UK. We have to sort this technology in safely now, or else we are entirely screwed, because words now are our biggest issue, and words are terrifying and they cause a lot of damage. But you wait till our kids are in sensor suits. And you're exactly right as well. Kids don't even have to be online at the moment to be impacted. You can keep your kids off the internet. They get to school. One other kid tells them, this was written about you on social media last night. Their lives are damaged.
Because the other thing is that in the 90s, if your kid was subject to severe bullying, you could say, worst case scenario, OK, let's take her out of that school, go to another area, have a fresh start. But online trolling follows you around.
It's relentless. And these kids that are being bullied at school, and back in my day, and I'm sure yours as well, 3:05 would come, mum would pick you up outside, you'd get respite. You'd have time where you were around family, where you were supported, where you were loved, where you weren't subjected to it. For kids these days, it's 24/7. They don't get an escape from it. And the damage that's being done is horrific. And we're not just talking about kids being damaged by nasty words. We've got an incredible couple from the UK who talk about their son, Ollie, who was murdered off the back of a social media chat room dispute. Now, these kids are 12 and 13 years old. And what starts out online, social media, all these kids are on it.
It spills into
ends
the real world.
in violence in the real world. And that is why every single person needs to take this issue seriously. They need to watch this documentary, particularly parents. They need to understand so they can start a conversation with their kids, because Ollie's parents talk about the fact if they had talked to him more, then they may have been able to save his life.
It's so sad. The Online Safety Act, I mean, we've got that in place, but as you say, it's probably going to be out of date and will need updating, and we're struggling to keep up.
And look, it was never going to be the end solution either. It was never going to be the whole solution. What it does is force social media companies to act, and it starts to just put things in place that hurt them, so they then determine that it's in their own interest to sort it out themselves, to create a safe space themselves. That hasn't happened yet, but that's the end goal.
And a big part of this documentary and a part of your investigations is to figure out accountability and how can we make these online trolls accountable. Are we seeing more and more accountability now, or is it still just running rampant?
And this was a big thing for me, and I guess you said at the start of your show that people are going to be critical, and absolutely, when you're in the public eye, it is part and parcel. There are people who are going to watch me and think I'm amazing. There are probably the same amount of people that will watch me and think I'm horrific. We live in a free world. Freedom of speech is a very important element of that. You can go online and you can be mean, you can criticise. What these laws do is stop you from going online and threatening to rape my unborn child. It's a criminal threshold. So these rules are really important. These laws are crucial to cleaning it up. Front page of the paper, there was a story about a man who was convicted of threatening to rape my unborn child, threatening to force me to have a miscarriage, threatening to rape me. He's a dad, 2 kids, front page of the paper. I have no doubt whatsoever that that story, front page of the paper, he has faced consequences. He's been punished for his action. He's been identified, stops 90% of this. That's what we need. We need consequences in place so cowards, and the majority of them are cowards, see that there are consequences for their actions and they don't do it. Online bots as well, because now these trolls can actually program bots to just be relentless. They don't even have to write this thing themselves. And then, as you say, it's developing so quickly. There's the metaverse and everything too. And you also have to protect the rights of people to speak freely about, you know, intense issues as well. And do we want social media companies trawling through our inbox messages looking for hate speech? Where do you draw the line? It is such a complex world, but just like many things, just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's worth doing, because it could save your kid's life, and they are the most vulnerable. I'm a 39-year-old woman. I'm resilient. I'm battle-hardened now in this space. My 4-year-old isn't, your 13-year-old isn't, your 17-year-old isn't. They need to be looked after in this space, and they can't do it on their own. It is so important. Haters online. Erin Molan Fights Back. It's on Sky News tonight. Yeah. 7 o'clock. Sky News Regional as well, and you can stream it on Flash too. Erin, thanks so much. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you.